Hey everybody, how's it going? This is another Dark Heresy video for 40k role-playing, focusing on the Dark Heresy, I guess, game. Should be painting up, but I'm procrastinating doing videos. This is for the book Ascension. This is the second book I recommend getting as an expansion book for Dark Heresy. It's second as opposed to being number one because this is more specialized than the Inquisitor's Handbook. This one really relies on having high-end, high-powered characters. Basically, this is an epic level book, if you want to think about it that way. You are ascended. No longer are you disposable, throwaway guys, but now you're kind of important. A little bit. So, that's what this book's all about. That's why it's second. Because you may not have a campaign that's going that far, or a series of campaigns where you're playing the same character. But if you think you might, or you might want to make a high-powered game right from the get-go, this is the book. So you open it up, you get the map again, then you have this little picture here, and then contents, obviously, and then of course what's in the book. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump right to the Ascended careers, talk about them a little bit, show you some stuff in the back of the book, and then talk about this book a little bit more. So what's important is Ascended characters. That's what you're making here. And with that, you have the path to Ascension, what careers you are from Dark Heresy. That can be a certain Ascended careers paths. Excuse me. You have transition packages for the Ascended career paths, which is always fun. I'm just gonna move through. And where is it? Here you go, Ascended careers. Right from the get-go, Crusader. As you can see, if you're thinking, hey, isn't that in 40k? Yeah, a lot of these Ascended careers are in the 40k war game as units, one way or another. So that's pretty cool. You have the Crusader. How it works is you get starting skills, talents, and gear. So you get some of this gear. It depends. If it says this or this, then you get to choose, but otherwise you get everything. Wow. You have Ascended traits, which is shield against harm, I should say. I don't know why I said agent. Then you get to choose something. You have your characteristic advances, and then you have your starting rank, which is rank 9 for Ascended careers, and you move all the way up to rank 16. Moving on, we have the Death Cult Assassin. Now, I may be thinking Death Cult Assassins aren't like, are okay, or whatever. This isn't based on the war game itself. This is more based on the fluff. And you get to play out the Death Cult Assassin fluff a bit. You get to be assassiny. You're not going to be just in a war zone situation. You're going to be doing, agent type work. You're going to be infiltrating, doing whatever, and assassins can shine there as they may not shine so well on a war zone. But you can be a Death Cult Assassin. Moving on, we have a Desperado. Not really anything directly related to anything in the 40k war game, but still very cool. And then we have Hierophant, which I believe we have is a Inquisitor retinue guy, which is pretty cool. It could also be something else. Then we have the Interrogator, which again, that's pretty cool. It's pretty high up there. A lot of these guys you can use regular 40k models without much kit bashing at all to represent. For Dark Heresy you can still kind of do that, but there's still kit bashing involved because you're not going to look as heavily equipped as a lot of the models out there are, because you start off pretty low rank and everything like that. But with these guys you can just take a regular model from an Inquisitor retinue or whatever, and boom, that can be you. You paint it up. That's pretty cool. The models help for just showing off what your character would look like, to get an image in people's minds what it looks like, as well as in certain situations you can make kind of a battle map, like this is a room, this is where your characters are in the room, now you have an idea of what you can do. Judge. The Judge is an arbitrator type of thing. It's Adeptus Arbitus, high-ranking guy. Every time I see him I think Judge Dredd, but that's just me. These guys are pretty cool. The Arbiters are kind of like the police, like the military police, martial type of thing. They are the law, pretty much. You have Magos, so you're a full-blown Magos, not just a tech priest. Magos are pretty important. So as you can see, you're not just some guy. You're actually kind of important now. Then we have a Primaris Psyker, which is the guy from the Imperial Guard Codex. We have a Sage, which is, I believe, another Inquisitor retinue type of thing. So that's pretty cool. Stormtrooper. Basically, this is an Inquisitorial Stormtrooper. I don't know if you can still get them from Games Workshop's website, but they used to have them up there for sale. If you can just use one of those guys to represent your guy. You basically are a full-blown Stormtrooper of the Inquisition at this point, so that's pretty cool. Vindicare Assassin, my favorite assassin. It's the only assassin that's a player class, I believe. The Eversor is listed as an adversary NPC in the back of the book, and I'll get to that in a little bit. I don't think I've seen any Calexis or Callus Assassin type of entries for anything. So really just have the Vindicare. And as the only of the Temple Assassins in this book. And basically you get his war gear, you get everything. That's pretty cool. And lastly, you can be a full-blown Inquisitor. So no more are you taking orders from an Inquisitor, but you're going to have a party leader in your party, who's probably the Inquisitor at this point, being the Inquisitor, which is pretty cool. So that means one of two things. Either you're taking orders from an NPC Inquisitor Lord, or another Inquisitor is kind of like helping you out and doing things, or it's a little bit more free-ranged, a little bit more free roam. Whereas the Game Master has an idea of a thing, you know, an adversary you got to stop for the campaign, but instead of getting direct orders to go certain places from an NPC, it could be a bit more free range, where the Inquisitor leading your group is responsible for kind of getting you guys to different planets and doing different things, which is pretty cool. So that's all the careers. Then you have skills and talents, ascended psychic powers, you have ascended armory, and then you get eventually to serving the Inquisition and all that. I'm gonna go right to the what's it called? The adversaries, or antagonists, they call them. And here they have the Eversor Assassin. And I mentioned that specifically because it's not just something you're gonna kill on sight. It could be a situation where an Eversor Assassin was released into a war zone to kill his mark. Maybe that mark has been killed already, taken care of, but the Eversor Assassin doesn't know that, so he's just running rampant, killing every adversary he sees, and you have to go deliver a special keyword that will kind of maybe turn him off, or whatever, or make him follow you, or something like that. You have to deliver it personally. You know, maybe you're accompanying an Inquisitor NPC, or you have your Inquisitor with you in your party, and then he'll listen. And that could be an example, or it could be a rogue Inquisitor activated an Eversor to try and kill you guys. You got to stop the Eversor from doing that, obviously. Things like that. Then you have things from like the Malleus point of view, the demons. So you have demons you can deal with. And you also have stuff from Ordo Xenos to deal with. Like Dire Avenger Exarch is a good example that they give you, and they give you slot and things like that. And then you have the Red Wake. The Red Wake is a sample adventure in the back of the book, which is cool. It can give you a taste of what an Ascended game is like. And if you have no example, you have no real, if you don't have anything to do, like no real campaign set up for the characters, you can do this just as a test run. And that's pretty much it for Ascension. Now, like I said, this is primarily for Ascended games in Dark Heresy. Either the characters have made it that far in multiple campaigns, and now they can ascend, or you're starting off with an Ascended game, which you can do. The only other way this is a useful book outside of Dark Heresy is in Deathwatch. Why? Well, Deathwatch is, of the three, Deathwatch, Rogue Trader, and Dark Heresy, Deathwatch is the highest powered game. That means, in order for a Dark Heresy character, let's say you're going to allow that one person really wants to play a Dark Heresy character, and you're going to allow that. they need to be an ascended character to be on par with basically a starting Marine, just to give you kind of the power level gap. And if you think about it, the Magos that I showed you in there get some abilities. The Tech Marine, starting off, gets very similar abilities right away as starting off. So you get to see the kind of the power disparity there. You had to pretty much work yourself all the way up to a Magos just to get what a Tech Marine starts with, for the most part. I'm not going to say it's exact. But that's something to think about. So if you're going to be running Death Watch, or you ran Dark Heresy, now you go into Death Watch because that's what you want to do, and you players are all for it, but one guy really wants to be something, and you allow it, because there's different things in Death Watch. There's squad abilities that only the Marines get for being together in a squad that a Dark Heresy character wouldn't benefit from, and then you know, the Marines don't work off money, whereas the Dark Heresy kind of does a little bit. Not so much with Ascended, but regular, so you have to work kind of a few things out, but they're still compatible. And you can do it, and you need this to do so. So, that's pretty much it for Dark Heresy Ascension. It's a cool book. It's second to Inquisitor's Handbook only because the Inquisitor's Handbook is very useful for a variety of game types. So, that's it. And until next time, take it easy.